Yo, Shortbox Nation, this is Botter, and I'm here to tell you right now that con season starts early this year with the return of Northeast Florida's premier anime, comic book, and sci-fi event, Collective Con. That's right, Northeast Florida's largest pop culture convention returns for its 10th year on March 8th through the 10th at the Prime Osborne Center in Jacksonville, Florida. 10 years of Collective Con, they're pulling all the stops out to make sure this is a can't-miss event. And the guest list they got going, don't even get me started on the guest list. I mean, they've got A-list celebrity guests and voice actors from some of your favorite movies, anime, and video games like Elijah Wood and Sean Ashton, Ray Park, Trisha Helfer, Ross Marquand, Max Middleman, and Bo-Katan herself will be there, Katie Sackhoff. Tell me what other convention is giving you the opportunity to meet Frodo and Sam from Lord of the Rings, Darth Maul, and One Punch Man all under the same roof. Only at Collective Con. And if you're looking to get some of your favorite comics signed, or if you want to get an original sketch from some of the best comic artists in the world, well, you're in luck, because there'll be plenty of comic and creator guests there, like DC comic artist extraordinaire Clay Mann, Harvey Award-nominated illustrator John Taylor Christopher, Marvel and DC cover artist Chris Stevens, and acclaimed Star Wars author Timothy Zahn. They'll all be at Collective Con this year. And if you're looking to bring the family, or if you want to make a weekend out of it, you're in luck, because there'll be so much going on at Collective Con that weekend in the form of vendors, fan panels, video game tournaments, cosplay contests, after parties, and a bunch of fan events. You can purchase single and 3-day weekend passes now using the link in this episode's show notes, or by going to collectivecon.com to book your tickets and hotel. Buy your tickets now, and I'll see you at Collective Con, March 8th through the 10th. Now let's start the show.
Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Shortbox Season 6. Yeah.
So you're excited about something on the list?
Whoa.
Yes.
Okay.
It's not gonna be all salty
The Sam,
Sunday.
it's just the
Salty
Sam Raimi.
Sunday.
It's just the Sam Raimi thing, mostly.
It's caramel. It's caramel salt Sundays. That's what it is. We are, yeah.
Just a pinch of salt.
Pinch of sodium.
Oh, that could be a segment for you. Pinch of salt.
Ooh, that's good. Yo, Drew, what are you salty about today? Oh, I like that. Yeah. Let me write. That's a good note. That's a good.
Drew's segment is bag of salt.
Oh, damn, a bag? Jesus.
Like they
Today
salt
on
roads
Salt.
with.
Pillar of salt. And get biblical.
I like it.
Yeah.
I like it. Shortbox Nation, welcome to episode 278. I'm your host, Botter Milligan. As you can tell, I am joined by my full cast today. I got my man Edmund Danzart here with us, Andrew Torres.
Salty, what up?
Yeah. And Ashley Lanny Hoy is here with us.
Hey.
Cesar will be back next week. But in the meantime, I want to go ahead and start this episode out with a shout-out. I got a couple shout-outs. I want to go ahead and thank Chris Garcia, a.k.a. Dollar Bin Bandit. I want to thank David Morales, a.k.a. Brother Biscuit, and Corey Torgensen, man. I just want to give those brothers a shout-out just because they've been really stellar as far as supporting the show, spreading the word of the show, and they've all had nice things to say about the recent episodes this past week, just posting on social media and whatnot. And as always, that's always helpful when it comes to spreading the word of this podcast and getting it out there. So shout-outs to Chris Garcia, David Morales, and Corey Torgensen. If you're a new listener, I want to go ahead and recommend maybe checking out our previous episode. We invited an emerging fanboy and new comic book reader on the show to talk about his journey so far, navigating comic book culture and starting a comic collection. So if you've ever asked, how does a new person get into comic books, that episode is for you. That is episode 277, Die a Fan. It's now available on most podcast apps. Give that a listen. This episode is brought to you by Collective Con. North Florida's premier pop culture event is returning for another huge year of comics, music, entertainment, art, cosplay, and more on March 20th through the 22nd. You'll find out more about the convention later on in the show. While we're talking about events, we are hosting another podcaster meetup on Wednesday, February 26th at 6 p.m. at Buzzsprout offices. You can register for the free event on eventbrite.com by searching Jack's Podcasters Unite. If you are a budding podcast star, superstar, or someone interested in starting their own podcast, or just a fan of the various local podcasts here in Jackson, you want to learn more about the shows and the industry, come on out. It's a free event. It's always been a good time. A good bit of local podcasters come out. So once again, February 26th at 6 p.m. Ashley, Drew, Ed, how are you guys doing today, man? Hey, hello.
Salty. How are you?
That's more like a flavor, but I'll take it. I will take it. Ashley, how you been?
I'm
How's
good.
everything going?
I'm good. Yeah, everything's going smooth.
You got your you've got your drama kid like outfit going on, like the black. I like it. I like it. You got the play right. Ed, how you doing today?
Good, man. Good.
Nice. You guys, anyone do anything like fun or interesting in the past like week or two since I haven't seen you guys?
Not me.
Mm,
Yeah, me neither.
working.
Yeah,
Yeah.
working.
I think last time we all saw each other was the Ghost Rider
Ghost Rider.
commentary.
Yes.
Which did anyone end up like having the urge to watch the sequel?
Nope.
Swing and a miss.
I looked for it on Netflix. It wasn't on Netflix, and I have it on
You're
Blu-ray.
like, I'm not gonna.
but I had to.
You have
hook
it on
up-
Blu-ray?
Of course.
Of
But
course.
I haven't used a DVD in forever.
What
I had
is
to
this
like
thing?
hook up my PlayStation. I was like, it's too much.
Yeah, oh yeah, and here's the thing. Like, what PlayStation version was it?
3.
So was the controller charged up, or did you?
No.
have
You
to-
know it's not. You know it's
God.
not.
And then you're like,
And you can never find the
now it
cable,
becomes
too.
Like, yo, life is like a fucking video game. It's like nothing works. I gotta go through all these damn quests just to get somewhere.
Drew,
Salty Earth.
Drew, I think you were working or busy the day that we did our Ghost Rider commentary.
Definitely working.
But you probably lost like your keys or something again.
Oh.
But low blow. I'm sorry.
What was like? Obviously, I'm gonna have to listen to it because I want to hear all the commentary. Just was it all laughs?
A lot of laughs, a lot of groans. But we did find something out that Ashley pointed out that as far as plots, it is a. What did you say? It's like a
It's
There's a
airtight.
lot less plot holes than you
airtight.
guys think.
Yeah, airtight
there is.
plot. Airtight plot.
So, all right, cool. Like,
I was
good
gonna
idea.
ask. What do you remember from the Ghost Rider movies? I was telling them
I
how.
remember him peeing fire.
That was the
In the
second
sequel,
one.
that was the sequel.
Oh, okay.
Well, I mean, I'm asking in general because I was telling them how
That's pretty memorable.
me and you, and we won't mention
Do you
names,
need to
but
drink like a whole thing of like hot coffee?
Oh, yeah.
Like,
By the
he,
pot.
like-
wait,
yeah.
was that the sequel too?
No, it was the
No,
first
the
okay,
first
so
one,
first
like
one,
he
sorry.
drank a bunch
They all-
of coffee. And
all the
he's like,
bad.
"Ah," and you're like,
Yeah.
oh, okay, cool.
All the
He is-
bad blends together.
Yeah.
But I was trying to tell them, and we won't have to mention names, but I was trying to tell them how when the sequel premiered, we were at I think MegaCon, right?
Yeah, no. Ancient City Con? Maybe
No,
MegaCon. No, definitely MegaCon.
Because we ended up, like I said, we won't mention names, but we ended up going with that comic book artist that
Yes.
we befriended, and we were both sitting in the theater like, "Wow, this is a trash ass movie,"
And he
but
loved
he
it.
really liked
He was
it,
like, this is the
and I was
best
like,
damn movie ever.
"Yeah, I probably won't talk to this dude again."
Oh, okay.
Cancel all my titles with him involved. Take him off my pool.
Actually, can you erase that? Can you erase that commission that I had you? I'm gonna need that.
Yeah, I
back.
remember I was a lot less excited about picking up that commission. Oh, cool.
Speaking about Marvel movies, since today is more of our short box story segment, so we'll be covering highlights, news, headlines, etc., that came out in the last week or two that pertain to comic books. and pop
Anytime you
culture.
mention a Marvel movie, can you just take that soundbite of DJ Khaled? We taking over one city at. I feel like
One movie
Disney's-
at a time?
Yeah, basically that's what Disney's doing.
No, we're definitely in like the reign of Disney and the MCU films, which leads me to my first topic. Did anyone catch the Super Bowl or the Disney Plus commercial during the Super Bowl, like live, like
Yeah.
the moment of?
There was a game on.
I
I was
watched
just watching it for the cinematic like little shorts. I thought that's what we were watching.
I watched it on YouTube after the game, but I didn't watch the game.
Ashley, did you watch it like live?
Yeah, I watched on YouTube after the game.
I
like,
watched it
right
live
now.
on the streets.
Yeah,
I was live
on the streets. Live
I
on
was
the
on the
streets.
streets, and people were
streets.
trying to talk to me when it came on. I was like, "Yo, don't fucking talk to me right now." I watched it, and then I texted you. It's so funny.
Yeah.
We didn't text each other the entire game, but whenever a commercial came on, we're like, "Bro."
Yeah, like like two housewives. Was anyone expecting it, or did either of you guys like know this commercial was going to be popping off,
Hell
or we were
no.
going to get like the premiere for Falcon? Winter Soldier and WandaVision, etc.
I remember reading like an article saying that those series will come out this year. They pushed them up to 2020, but I didn't know they'd have actual, footage or commercial.
Because I think I was like playing on my phone when that commercial happened, and I look up and I just see oh my God, Sam Wilson throwing the shield, and
tree, right?
the Falcon throwing the shield. I'm like,
It's Captain
yo,
America.
I'm sorry, yes, I saw
Yeah,
Captain
you better
America.
put some respect on his name. He earned that shield.
I looked up, saw Captain America's shield like hitting a tree, and I said, yo, what is this? Did someone change the channel? And then it's the fucking commercial for like these new shows coming out this year.
Yeah.
I don't think like
Bro, 2020.
and I mean we've been pretty much staying on top of like all the MCU stuff for Disney Plus. So I was a little surprised that they were like this commercial was out and these shows were coming out this year.
Yeah.
Because I think I read somewhere they were WandaVision and that Loki show were scheduled for 2021.
Mm-hmm.
Because they were going to be released around the same time as Doctor Strange and the
Yeah, they're
Multiverse of
supposed to
Madness.
tie in. Yeah.
Yeah. So this is like pretty cool that we're getting it bumped up. Like, what do you
Yeah.
guys remember from the commercial? Did anything stand out for you guys?
What kind of got me to the commercial was like later on that night, like on Twitter, everyone was posting pictures of Scarlet Witch with the
Yeah.
old school red
Man.
headpiece.
Yeah, I lost my shit when I
And I was
Man.
like, what is? And then it was putting links to the commercial. That's kind of how I found out about it. I was doing other stuff, and
Yeah,
then
because it almost looks fan made. Like it looks
Yeah.
like I was.
well, it looks like it almost looks like she's wearing like a Party City outfit in the
Yeah,
in the
yeah,
show,
yeah,
or
yeah,
like
yeah.
a lingerie thing, you know.
Okay.
But yeah, it was like, oh wow, and then yeah, that's kind of what got me searching for that trailer.
Yeah.
Was all those pictures of Wanda on Twitter. that
Okay.
night.
What about you, Ashley? Anything stand out? I know
mean-
that you probably dusted off the Loki statue and
Yeah.
had your Loki shirt.
She's like
No.
looking at it's time.
Oh, that's everyone was freaking out of short sleeve Loki.
They
Everyone was
did.
like
They
going
ended
nuts.
it with a high note. With that, like,
It's like all in dark short sleeves.
Wait, he's never.
No.
Wow, he's
always
never
had
showed his
one.
arms.
Uh-uh.
Oh wow,
It's a first.
A little scandalous.
Yeah. just a taste,
Look at
ladies.
those crinkles in his
Just a
elbow.
taste.
Nah, I feel like Loki probably doesn't have crinkles in his elbow like a normal person. It's like pristine,
Smooth.
very smooth.
Like an Adventure Time arm.
Oh my,
just
the
bendy
fact that
and
people
smooth.
pointed it out is funny to me. They're just like, "Oh my god, you see his arm?"
Yeah, no, serious. Like people were posting like short sleeve Loki, like it's really scandalous or something.
Like, what does this fucking
No.
mean?
Wait till he takes his shirt off.
Like, have you ever been in Jacksonville? Like, try wear a long sleeve in Jacksonville in the summer. Like, that's probably where he's at right now.
What about you, Drew? What stood out to you? the most?
Yo, man, the cover of that mixtape called Falcon and Captain America, or like Captain America Winter Soldier. I just like those two. Like, I was like, all right, cool. This is going to be. It's weird that it's going to look like movie quality that I'm going to be
Yo,
watching
yeah,
on a
said.
TV. Like, that's the thing that's crazy. Like, to me, it's going to be FX quality. Like, FX does a really good job of like making their shows look better than TV. Disney's just like, hey, guess what? Now we're gonna do more. And it's just cool that we got to this point. Like, yo, they're really doing it, and like we don't have to wait for a movie. They're gonna do a TV show, which I hope they're gonna do it one at a time.
What's the current line?
It
what's
should
the
be,
current line?
like-
Or I mean, as far as like release, it's like what? Falcon, Winter Soldier in August.
Yeah.
But episodic.
WandaVision December.
'Cause you know for a
got it,
fact
got it.
they're gonna have to
Episodic.
do it episodic. I think for a fact they're gonna do episodic for sure. They're not
Yeah.
gonna release this
Yeah.
all at
They're
one
not
time.
going to Netflix it. And
No,
drop
yeah,
them
and
all.
then also I'm getting more excited about this because it's like, oh, all right, now we're gonna have something to talk about.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
like to answer your question, what got me like ecstatic is just seeing those two. It's like, yo,
Yeah.
like I feel like as like fans for like when this is happening, to be actually like part of this as it's happening and seeing it unfold is just exciting for me because it's like, all right, it's going to be new, but at the same time I know where they're going to go with it. And I hope that I hope they keep Sam Wilson in this. I hope he does it for a good bit because even though we got a little bit in the comic books, like I still feel like they kind of like shorted us because I liked
Oh, yeah.
Sam Wilson as Captain. Like I wanted him Captain America for a long time, and now it's going to be like, all right, well this is going to come out. They're going to see how good it is, and then they're probably going to do it again as a gimmicky thing.
And to your point, it's not only does it look like it's movie quality, but like all the stars are coming back. You know, it's
Yeah.
like Anthony Mackie, Sebastian Shaw, old boy that plays Zemo is going to be in this series. So I mean, it's like it is kind of like not mind boggling, but it's really impressive and like it gets me excited that like, oh man, I get the qualities I like in the movie. And even more, you know, like
not with the replacement. Like, a lot
yeah.
of times
Thank you.
back in the day-
Oh, yeah.
Well said. Yeah, that's.
You remember
that's
as a
it.
kid how heartbroken you were where they used to do that, where like they would recast, but you didn't know why.
Yeah.
You're like, but why doesn't he want to be Batman no more? You're like, just
What's one that comes to mind?
George Clooney and Val Kilmer. like yo, as a kid, like I was like, what the fuck? And
As far as
like,
movies, the TV, like something like Blade, when that was out.
Yeah,
that was definitely no one too.
yeah.
Because Wesley was probably in jail, right? Not paying taxes.
That shit was funny. Did you ever watch Expendables where he comes back on and then they make that joke? He's like, "Bro, where were you?" He's like, "Taxes."
For real.
Yeah, he's like,
real.
he's like tax evasion or whatever.
Yeah,
Like
dude.
that shit was so dope. Expendables did it first.
So of the three, it sounds like Drew, you're most excited for Winter Soldier and
Well, not anymore. I would like to change my answer. Like I'd like short sleeved Loki. Like I don't know. I kind of want to look it up right now.
I didn't notice. Like, man,
burn it
I
all to
messed
the
up.
ground.
I guess I'm not a fan. Like I thought I was a fan and was
Casual
self-aware.
Loki. Everyone loves him.
I mean, I feel like the Winter Soldier and Falcon one looks pretty straightforward. It looks like it's just going to be a continuation of like their antics in Civil War, which I'm excited for because I felt like they had really good chemistry in Civil War a lot. So if they just do a continuation of the spy stuff, that'll be cool. Loki is still kind of a mystery to me as far as what the plot is. And I thought WandaVision, as much as I really like that segment, it's still like, yo, what is this going to be about?
That's why I'm curious because I know we talked about it before, but Scarlet Witch always has these kind of random powers of what she does. But I know one of them is
You mess up
kind of
probability? What does that
this
mean?
like this alternate creating kind of these alternate realities.
Yeah.
And it looks like they're might be playing with that idea to kind of really focus on what her powers are, but that's just intriguing. Just with all those kind of sitcom flashbacks, like the
like the
Roseanne
70s show.
yeah, and the Leave It to Beaver.
Did you ever watch Legion?
No, I know.
See, if
It
you
was
watch,
good.
yeah,
Yeah.
okay,
It's
actually, so
amazing.
back me up here. If they're gonna do anything like that with Loki,
Yeah.
just in terms of just the feel and how they bring it back, like I think they'll borrow from the elements of that show. Like Legion works so much because it messes because Legion's the only guy that has that power set that is mind alternate. I'm telling you right now, for cinema and like the stuff that you like that's way out there and weird, but still kind of holds together. Legion's really, really good.
Yeah,
but
I've heard good things. Like it's been championed by I know you and a couple of other people.
No, I loved it because
Yeah.
it confuses you, but then it comes back and makes sense. Like there's a reason for all of it. It was really good. It like challenges you to pay attention.
And what's this? This is which Olsen is this? Ashley Olsen?
Elizabeth?
Elizabeth Olsen.
Yeah, put some respect on
Sorry,
that.
Wanda Olsen.
Yeah, Elizabeth Olsen. Wanda
And
Olsen.
depending on like where they go,
They
with
switch
this-
places like in Full House. They'll just both of them.
Yeah, that's actually kind of fly.
Yeah,
Hey,
they
look,
should just have all of them and just cast that, cast that entire family as the cuckoos, like the cuckoo stitches, whatever.
I got this vacation planned, and I gotta shoot.
Do we know anything about showrunners? Like, I haven't researched as far as like who's showrunning, who's
Oh, that's a good one. Dang.
because it's like TV. Is that considered? Is Disney Plus still considered TV department? Is that like its own? Like, is it?
I mean, I'm sure they act like a TV department. I mean, it's not. I mean, you're still producing like content and and film and TV.
Okay, well, that's something I would have to look up after class. But I just looked up that short sleeve Loki.
How aroused? On a scale of 1 to 10, how aroused are you right now?
Probably like a 6.
Can I see it? Let me
really
let me
dark.
gauge.
It's really
I don't think orange is his color.
Don't get a good look.
So, speaking about Loki, the only Easter egg that I saw, kind of the internet's talking about was Loki is short sleeve Loki. Ooh, boy, that's skin. Oh, that is skin. Nice. All right, I'm definitely at an 8. I'm at an 8.
Wow.
I'm at a nice 8. But in this photo, he is rocking a looks like a jumpsuit with TVA, the acronym or the initials TVA. And what I've been able to find out is that it might be more than likely tie into this agency in the Marvel comics called the Time Variance Authority. And they were introduced in 1986's Thor number 372.
Wow.
The Time Variance Authority is an interdimensional agency designed to maintain the boundaries between alternate realities. So if an entity or a timeline like prove problematic or unruly or potentially dangerous to other timelines, this agency comes in. They try to destroy it.
Multiverse police.
Yeah, essentially, right?
What a deep cut that is.
For real.
Jeez.
Well, and
They're getting with like, yo, if we're gonna do the internals, we got to get they're doing the Marvel universe. They're not fucking around no more.
Yeah.
well, in the comic books, every it's
Here
kind of
we
like
go with the comic book talk over here. I talk about movies. This dude wants to talk about comic books.
So it's like a bureaucracy, right? And I guess every character in this like agency is based off of a real life Marvel staff writer. So I mean, they had like a character that looks like Tom DeFalco in it, Mark Grunwald.
Dude, that's sick.
Oh, now you want to care about the comic?
Oh,
You're right.
But-
Who drew it?
I don't know. Walt Simonson, Thor. I don't know. But anyways, the TVA is known to hire mercenaries to do like their dirty work. So that's where you kind of have like Death's Head was a TVA mercenary agent, and then this character called Justice Peace, who's a lawman sent from the future, is comes into play.
Oh my God.
So the two theories that so far is kind of floating on the internet is either Thor is being held prisoner of the TVA, which would make sense since last time we
Loki.
saw them.
Loki.
I'm sorry. Thanks so much. Loki. Loki's being held prisoner because last time we saw him, he ended up getting the time stone and then disappeared, which might make sense with him being kind of mischievous. Or he's being recruited by the TVA to like handle these timeline multiverse discrepancies. Drew had a good theory that what if Steve Rogers' time adventures tie into this, which I think would be pretty dope.
Oh.
That's one thing I hope that they pull from it. It's just like at some point maybe Loki's chasing Steve because he's probably altering.
Yeah.
A lot of times, like time jumps and stuff.
I definitely think they're going to lean in heavy on like this multiverse like stuff.
Yeah.
So. And I'm all for it. And if we get like short sleeve like Loki, the whole
Are you
time.
more okay? The fact that they established time travel and multiverse, like, what is a deep cut person? Like, when does Kang the Conqueror show up or Mortis shows up? Only like, did they show up in a TV show? Do you feel like they're going to bring him in a movie?
So what I've read as far as like Marvel's potential next big event is either going to be like I've heard Secret Invasion, or but they're also saying that like there is a like a mystery Disney Plus MCU show in the works, and they think I mean it's like super rumor, so take this with a grain of salt. Cha-cha.
Fantastic Four.
But they're saying that like this mystery MCU show might be like all about like Secret Invasion and the Skrulls and stuff.
Okay.
And then tie it into like the MCU.
Are you
and stuff.
are we excited about Skrull stuff? Like when they showed up,
I'm down
when they
for more
when
Talos.
they showed up in Captain Marvel, I wasn't like, oh, cool. I was like, oh, cool.
Nice. I like the inflection.
Oh, cool. Like
You were okay. I'm for it, man. They look cool. I mean, Talos looked like pretty bad. He was, to be honest, my favorite part of like Captain Marvel. What about you, Ashley? Are you a fan of the Skrulls?
They're all right. I like Ben Mendelsohn.
Yeah, if I get more Ben Mendelsohn.
Yeah, they're gonna make it good if they make it.
I want to see Super Skrull.
Yo, right? That'd be fly as hell. That'd be a great way to bring the FF too, with him being like their main villain or main kind of guy. Another Easter egg that I saw floating around was in the WandaVision trailer. You could see references to SWORD, that outer space agency in Marvel, like essentially like S.H.I.E.L.D. but for outer space. So there, I guess there was like some set photos that leaked that had some SWORD branding on the set of like WandaVision, which would make sense because I think in Captain Marvel, Nick Fury ends up staying with Talos and the Skrulls to like kind of work through S.H.I.E.L.D. stuff. Yeah, I'm sorry, SWORD stuff. So, yeah. But I mean, thinking about how, a lot of these MCU shows directly tie into the movies, I'm kind of curious how, because the original plans were in 2021, we were going to get Loki, WandaVision, and then of course Doctor Strange was supposed to come out in 2021. So they were going to try to like, pardon me, tie all of that in. And I think what happened was, maybe they decided, okay, well, we don't have enough stuff for 2020. Let's move WandaVision into 2020. We'll still have plenty of stuff in 2021. I'm just kind of curious, like, how that affects the timeline and stuff like that. Yo, this is Botter. Sorry for interrupting this episode, but I'll keep it brief. I wanted to let you know about a massive sale we have going on over at the Shortbox store on all of our merchandise and apparel. That's theshortboxstore.bigcartel.com. You can now save 20% off your entire order using the discount code YOO, Y-O-O. So if you've been waiting for the right time to finally buy that gauntlet snapback, or if you ever wanted to buy any of the shirts you see me wear on the podcast, well, now's your chance to get them for a steal. We still have a few sizes left of everything, but they won't last long, and once they're gone, they are gone. And then I mentioned that all of our apparel is screen printed on high quality material. None of that heat transfer or direct to garment stuff. Our shirts are some of the most comfortable ones you'll ever wear, and the hats look even better in person. So wear your support for the Shortbox Nation proudly, knowing that you're going to look damn good doing it.
Get to theshortboxstore.bigcartel.com as soon as you can, and don't forget to use that discount code YOO, Y-O-O, to save 20% off your entire order. All of this information can be found in this episode's show notes if you want to get there faster. Thanks for not pressing fast forward. Now back to the show.
These are all good questions, and we'll find out. Only because I have nothing to go on. It's like I don't. I can call them. Do you want me to email them after the show and be like, "Yo, listen."
It's a rhetorical question.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I know, Drew. You had you got pretty excited knowing that Monica Rambeau.
Yeah, Monica Rambeau
is going to show up in the freaking WandaVision, which I think is a random place for her to show up. But
Yeah,
like,
you're right. In the Marvel universe.
but just like WandaVision, I don't know. I just don't know.
I wonder what they're going to do with the power set. Yeah, because I don't know if this is going to be. And with these shows, you don't know if this is going to be like these can be like one-shot episodes where there's a bunch of action, or this is basically going to be talking. Like I don't
feel
know.
like. I mean, do you guys would it rub you guys the wrong way or
Nobody really
excite you?
asks for these TV shows. They're giving them to us.
At least my question: would you guys care if everything? Would it annoy you if everything tied into like? Tied into something. Like, do you want some of this stuff to be like one-offs? Because it seems like everything is going to lead. It keeps like building up. Like in the classic MCU way, where every movie built up. It seems like these shows are also going to be vehicles to like progress the story. Like, do you want that?
I don't think it's necessary. If they do it well, I mean, it's going to be great. But I don't think it's necessary. I think it frees up stories if you don't have to worry about. Like, I've never been like a hardliner on continuity, as long as the stories are good, I just want to see good stuff. But I know they have this formula, and I think if they stray it too far, it's gonna, I don't know how people are gonna react to it. But for me, no, they don't have to.
Okay, what about you, Drew?
Well, the same thing. Like, if you can tell me a good story and just lend yourself, and if you can basically, Shield did it fantastically. They basically would do some name drops, but it never really fully basically needed it. Still entertaining, very good.
Yeah, even like the Netflix Marvel stuff, they would acknowledge like the event and thing like that, but it's kind of removed
on its own.
Yeah. And since then, I've started watching Iron Fist 2, like just trying to get into it, and I'm like, all right, like.
This is as bad as I thought.
It's pretty bad. It's like a good bad. It's all I got.
Yeah. What about you, Ashley? You care if it all ties in?
No, I mean, I'm kind of with you guys. Like, it's not necessary, but it is more exciting when they have like little things. You're like, oh God, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
I wish. I'm sorry to interrupt. I wish they used this show just to basically expand just a little bit in the sense of like just like. If they want to, like, I'm not saying like throw a lot of it, but it's like in the sense of like when you play video games and you explore one part of an island and then you like unlock like this part of the map.
DLC, Marvel DLC.
Yeah, like basically, it's just like, I just felt like
except for this shit's cost me like $120 a year in total.
Oh, okay, yeah, the Marvel DLC. There you go. That's perfect.
I guess I'm kind of with Ashley. It does make it a little more exciting, and. Because I look at like Star Wars, how, and especially the comic books, and this might be like a kind of, it might not tie in exactly, but how the first 3 movies were so iconic, and when you look at like Marvel's attempt at doing Star Wars comics, how they'll find like a little spot where it's like, okay, they never explained this part in between the movies. Let's try to expand on it.
Fill holes.
Yeah. And it becomes kind of like tasteless and kind of cheap, and you're like, how much more can you guys do with like based on these 3 fucking movies and just like 5 minutes of off-screen shit. This is different in the sense that like they're kind of guiding. It's like it started from point A all the way, and now they're working to whatever point Z, versus trying to carry over from like, okay, well, episodes 4, 5, 6, we'll fill in somewhere in between there. I guess there's potential for it to be a lot more cleaner. They're not trying to backfill, is what I'm saying. It's like, we're laying the tracks ahead, and we're going down this one path. What about as far as like, what are you guys most excited for Disney Plus? Because I mean, this kind of shifts things over because we're gonna get WandaVision this year. I think Mandalorian 2 got announced for October, which I am all for. This like Baby Yoda. I need more Baby Yoda in my life. WandaVision. So we're getting Falcon, Winter Soldier, and then I think Loki is still like what unknown at the moment.
Not announced yet.
Okay.
Next year, but no date, no firm.
Oh, next year?
Yeah, 2021.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
Well, then that means it joins the other 4 MCU. I'm sorry, the 2 other Disney Plus TV series because we're gonna get in 2021. We're gonna get I guess Loki. Hawkeye and the animated What If series, which I'm most excited for because I want to see how they do a What If series. What about you, Ashley? What are you most excited for as far as like the MCU TV stuff?
I mean, there's a lot of cool stuff coming out. The WandaVision looks really cool, but honestly, it's the Loki show.
Nice. What about you, Drew?
What show?
Yeah.
Honestly, only because I've been reading a lot of Hawkeye. I just want to see this Kate. Like, I want to see what they do with Kate Bishop and Hawkeye.
Yeah.
And I don't know nothing about it. Like, so to answer your question,
and it's going to be completely different because Kate Bishop is
his daughter, or like I don't know who they're gonna introduce for Kate Bishop.
Yeah.
Right? Wait, isn't his daughter Kate?
Yeah, but in the comic, it's
Yeah.
And in the comic, she's basically she lends herself to like Helena. Sure, her dad's a gangster. Actually, it's so funny. They explain who in this comic book who Kate Bishop's
I hope they
mom
have those
and dad
Russian
is.
like tracksuit guys.
Oh,
my
bro,
God.
the bro guys.
What's up, bro? Have you guys read any of Kelly Thompson's Hawkeye?
No, I read all of Matt Fraction's.
Okay,
I just read Matt
I'm
Fraction.
championing. This is the book. The book I'm championing later is Kelly Thompson's Hawkeye, where it follows Kate Bishop.
Oh,
Perfect.
So for this year, I mean, I feel like 2021 is going to be when we get all this like Marvel stuff ramped up because this year we got
This is like a shitty lineup. I'm sorry. This is like as far as when it comes to like, you know, like when Jaguar players are like,
we haven't even gotten to Sam Raimi.
No,
He's already
here's the
salty.
thing. I'm telling you right now, if you look at 2020 right now,
Yeah,
as
2020.
far as it like, you know, and stay with me, okay?
I can't move.
And these are all like
I
I'm
just
talking
got
about,
another hour. Which
you know how like when football players or basketball players get excited when they're gonna who their teams are gonna play? Like there's that lineup.
Yep.
Like yo, we have a home game. We play
Yep.
this one. I feel like as nerds, like that's our like our thing. Like it's just like yo, this is the lineup. 2020 is not looking pretty good.
Why so?
Only because like there's nothing here that's really gonna scream like life changing and like excited about it. I can guess right now, like there's Black Widow 2.
Yep,
The
Black
movies
Widow.
took too long for it to come out.
Okay. I
agree.
So right there, you're like, get
Should've
the fuck
been,
out of
like,
here with that bullshit.
10 years ago.
Okay.
All right.
A little
And you got-
harsh, but I got it.
And you already got the Eternals. You got
Yep.
the Eternals.
In
I don't
November.
know how they're gonna do this. There's no word.
But isn't that making it kind of exciting? Like you have no idea what
You
they're
have a
gonna
lot
do?
of like these big Hollywood actors that they're just grabbing up just to grab. Like a lot of these Hollywood actors are
making
just
super
yeah.
buff.
The only reason why
super jacked. You gotta be jacked. Wear a bodysuit and a cloak. Still,
Well, all right. So and that so we get Black Widow, Eternals this year, as well as Falcon, Winter Soldier, and then WandaVision,
No,
and the Mandalorian.
We're talking movies, bro.
Okay, all right.
movies.
Oh, that's
Oh,
fine.
talking
Just Black
movies.
Widow and Eternals,
All right.
and then but that's what I'm saying. 2021 is going to be like a
That's
pretty
what I'm
fly
saying.
year.
But that's what I'm saying. So in terms of like, yo, 2020 is not looking pretty good. Like 2020 right now, the lineup is weak.
But didn't we all complain?
Wow.
Birds of Prey 2. Did you see it?
I saw it
Did
with
you love it or did you hate it?
Well, you beat me to like
I'm just asking right
post
now.
There's a
email.
whole in between.
Yeah.
Like
To answer your question, and we can get into more detail about Birds of Prey, but no. But and we're not even counting like other
I'm
movies.
just asking you
movies
from a
coming.
nerd standpoint. Our lineup of movies that are coming out that is in reference to us,
Mm-hmm.
is it going to be an exciting year or kind of like a womp year?
It's shaping up to be a womp
It's,
womp.
yeah, because right now,
there, you got it out of me. All right. Jeez
I wanted to do it
Louise.
here. Sorry.
All right. You know what? Let's continue this. This salt.
What, did you think? Yeah, salty. Like I said, salty 3 times. What did you think? I was gonna be all cuddly and like Care Bear? Like, no, man, this is salty. I came here to shit on Sam Raimi.
oh
and,
no.
and that's where we're going.
Oh, man.
So the news came out this week that Sam Raimi is in talks, which might more than likely.
I just checked IMDb and it still says rumored. So,
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
So Sam Raimi is rumored in talks to direct the upcoming Doctor Strange 2 multiverse in the
Madness.
multiverse of madness, which is scheduled for a 2021 release. Immediately when I asked, "Hey, what stories we're going to cover?" Ed was like, "Oh, I'll let's cover this." Drew had nothing but negative shit to say.
I think I said ew, and then I went to.
And then you gave us a forewarning. Hey, I'm gonna shit all over this on the Sunday.
Yeah.
And I mean, you're off to a great start. So kudos on that. Ed, did we know anything additional other than just like that one rumor?
That's all.
That's pretty much it, right?
Pretty much it just went by that rumor, and like Scott Derrickson gave his thumbs up for it, like the guy who left, and everyone has been kind of wanting to do it.
Scott Derrickson is like like he broke up and he's still like real supportive.
You're supposed to do that. You're supposed to do that. You know, you're not going to think because what's his name? Who is it? Josh Tranks. Josh Tranks really kind of fucked himself and set the bar.
Don't see this movie.
Don't. Yeah, for real. He set the bar for like basically like this is like the worst breakup in Hollywood history. Was Josh Tranks? He was like that ex-girlfriend that was like, let me tell you all this shit happened.
Yeah. Scott Derrickson's like, man, I really
well, he still wants that movie check because he's still a producer.
Man, there's nothing to do in Jacksonville.
Yeah.
Did somebody say there's nothing to Duval in Jacksonville?
Danny Duval? What are you doing here?
Your ignorance summoned me. Now shut up and listen to these words. North Florida's premier anime, comic book, sci-fi, and pop culture event, Collective Con, returns for its 6th year. On March 20th through the 22nd, stars from The Mandalorian, Game of Thrones, Supernatural, The Crow, Dragon Ball Z, and even famous Pokemon card illustrator Mitsuhiro Arita is flying in from Japan to join in on the fun.
Wow! That sounds awesome!
Why are you still standing here? Go buy your tickets today at CollectiveCon.com, you lovable Nimrods!
Oh,
he's staying on as a producer.
Oh, that's right.
But that doesn't mean he's going to be there.
Yeah, for real. You don't like. He's like, hey man, is my
Want
name
some
still going to be
royalties.
on it? They're like, yeah, I guess you're still producing it. It's cool.
Yeah.
All right. Good luck.
So I guess we'll just address the elephant in the room. Well, not even an elephant in the room, but well, whatever. Why are you not excited for Sam Raimi possibly directing this?
Only because I don't like exciting wise. Like, I don't think he will do what I would want to be seen done with Doctor Strange in the sense of like I don't think that. But can Sam Raimi direct a Marvel movie? Yes. Do I think he can do this one? Probably not, because I don't know what I'm going to get out of it.
Okay. The way it sounded, it was like some personal beef.
Oh, that's
like,
we have.
Well, no, here's not. I went back.
I know Spider-Man 3 was bad.
No, but here's the thing: Spider-Man 1 and 2 are bad as well, and it goes right
debatable.
sense. No,
not even
controversy.
Yo, look,
and it's because I have this one.
he's got this one gripe that he won't let go.
Because
Bruce
it's
Campbell,
not Spider-Man. Oh no, Bruce Campbell's fine. Like at first, I was like, that's kind of like annoying. Like he was like really cool to see. He was.
He
like
puts that old ass car in all his movies.
Explain to everyone your gripe with the Spider-Man movies.
Oh, upon rewatching the Spider-Man movies, when Spider-Man and he's fighting all of his enemies, there's no talking or dialogue whatsoever.
He doesn't like that Spider-Man
Like
doesn't
smart
do
ass.
the
Like
quips.
making fun of the people.
There's no quips, and at some point, it literally is like, I mean, it's CGI back in the day, but there's literally. There's like it is complete utter silence other than whatever the backtrack is.
Yeah.
Like there's no talking. I'm just like, damn, I never.
It's like
realized
Tom
that.
Holland does that where he's just talking shit to those.
Yeah,
like,
but that's like,
stuff.
that's what Spider-Man has taught us in the comic books. That's what Spider-Man
he's
has
smart
always
ass,
done. Yeah, he's a smart ass. So then when people are like, yo, Tobey Maguire is like the best Spider-Man, it's like, cool. That was the only one we knew. Of course you're going to be like, this is the best Spider-Man.
Yeah.
This because it's all you know. If all you ever ate was a chocolate chip fucking cookie, of course you're going to love a chocolate chip fucking cookie.
For the record, it's still the best cookie. I mean, like, you know, like every. But aside from that, like, you don't find nothing else good in those early Spider-Man movies?
No, I mean, here's the thing. I watched Evil Dead. I have a respect for Evil Dead. People love Evil Dead. Like, people who love that movie, they fucking love that movie. And that's cool. Like, that's like, the people that love the Alien movies, they love the Alien movies. Like, that is their thing. For me, that is like, Sam Raimi's not my director. Is he a good director? Yes. Like, I'm not excited about him doing this because I can already tell that he's going to put his Sam Raimi, like, voice in there. He has a voice. He has a very, very, very moist. Like,
so it's more of like an aesthetic.
Yeah, he
like
takes
the way he
you out of movies. He doesn't put you in a movie. He takes you out of movies.
Really?
Like he literally takes you out of it, and he's just like, yo, like look at all this fake shit. He does plays. He looks like plays. It's always on set with a play. Like I feel like he's like, yo, to me, he's not a film director. He is like a play director. I could watch Sam Raimi do Broadway. Hell yeah. Sam Raimi's movie? Fuck no.
It's okay.
When I watch a movie, I'm like, at some point, I'm like, oh, okay, I'm not really watching a movie. This is just entertaining.
Okay. Hey, look, that's how you feel.
That's how I feel.
Ashley, let me...
Salty salt.
I just want to
Ashley,
be entertained. When I go to a movie, I want to be entertained.
Ditto.
So I'm so excited. Like, I'm stoked. I would love for this to go through. Like,
Okay.
Drag Me to Hell is one of my favorite movies.
Of course it is.
And there's so many, like...
And that's a good movie. And that is a good
Yeah.
movie. It's not a franchise movie in the
No.
sense of like, yo, it's a good movie. And I will not take that away from him. It's a good movie because it immediately, like, establish itself as like this like really gross, funny, like fucked up movie.
Yeah.
Isn't that what we
Have you
want,
seen-
though? You're saying that he makes a good movie, so he can make, like, he knows horror. He knows, like, and that's what this...
He knows horrors, but, like, he's making characters that he doesn't know. He would have to take a character with a bunch of history and basically put it in there. So you're
But he doesn't got to do that himself. He's got writers to do that. He just got to direct this fucking
That's
movie.
the thing, too. It's
but
like...
it's still going to be his voice.
I mean, let me finish hearing Ashley out. Ashley, you said Drag Me to Hell is one of your favorite movies.
No, and I see elements of that like that could work with Doctor Strange.
Yeah, like the
It's just-
supernatural stuff.
Yeah, Supernatural. It's a fun movie. I enjoy watching that movie.
That's
I
very
don't know.
true. But I got so like hung up and excited about it being like more of like Doctor Strange, like make it a horror movie. Like,
But I mean, and that's what I'm saying. Wouldn't you want the guy that
I'd
like
want
has a great track record for horror movies to do
a
that?
horror movie. I don't want a campy horror movie. Like I would want like a horror movie. I'm looking at this from a perspective of like, yo, if they did it like a really really good horror movie, that would be sick.
Also, I think your expectations are a little unrealistic when you consider it's a Marvel movie and they're not going to go past a PG-13.
Yeah.
So I mean, even if you got a really good ass like horror direct, I mean, isn't Scott Derrickson from a horror background?
Yeah.
And I mean, the whole reason he's leaving is because of creative differences.
That's probably one of the reasons.
Yeah.
Is the R rating.
So I mean, you kind of would want someone that's like pretty good at like both elements of hey.
Drag Me to Hell is PG-13.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, I feel it's like Sam Raimi. One, he's familiar with comic books. Period. I mean, if I'm remembering correctly, he played a much bigger role for the Spider-Man movies and Marvel. Period. Other than just directing, like he really pushed for that movie to be made. I'm trying to remember the facts, but it's not there right now. But I mean, he comes from a horror element background. He's familiar with comic books. Yeah, he could do campy, but you know what? All those fucking MCU movies are campy in a way.
Yeah.
Very true.
Like, and I don't know. I just feel like. And this is his. I think this is his first. This would be his first opportunity to come back to a directing role in the last like decade. I think he's done like some production or producer credits, but like this would be like a big thing. Edward, how do you feel about it?
I'm not quite as passionate as Drew about him not doing it. I'm kind of on
That's
the
why we
fence
love Drew.
because
That's why we love
I'm not as salty as if.
because I can say I love like a lot of Sam Raimi's stuff, but it's been 20 years since I liked his stuff. Does that make sense?
Very true.
So, I mean, I love, of course, Evil Dead series, Simple Plan. I think it's a fantastic movie, which is kind of like his, almost like a Coen Brothers, him stepping away from the campy horror stuff. But yeah, it's
That's it. That's only people who ever tell me that. It's just like they're like, "Oh, Evil Dead." I'm like, "Cool. This guy made 3 great hits. Cool.
Yeah.
Tell me something else he did."
Spider-Man 1 and 2.
Yeah.
I mean,
And
I don't
I
know.
like-
I have not watched all his other movies. I can only go based off Spider-Man 1 and 2. But fuck it, those movies are like sentimental to me, man. And apparently, a lot of people.
The
So
thing
it's like
with him too is
emotionally
if he's
attached
not
to those
like
movies.
writing and directing it, or if he's not like fully in control, how good is it going to be? That's my only thing. Because with the Marvel stuff, it's like they'll hire these people, but they keep them on a leash because it has to fall in line with the Feige's vision.
Yeah.
So they can't go 100%. That's probably why. Derrickson wanted to push it even more, and they're like, rein it back in, buddy.
damn, he did Time Cop too.
Yeah,
Shit.
it's Time Cop. Yeah, so he's done a lot of more of a variety of movies than you would think.
Yeah.
Dark
Yeah.
Man.
Yep,
Yeah.
Darkman.
Darkman. So it's he's done quite a variety of movie, but it's like I said, it's been a minute since there's been a movie I sat down and like even Drag Me to Hell. That was a bit away a while back.
What? Yeah. I
So.
mean, I just think it'd be so cool if they got like Nightmare or something. To
Yeah.
be the villain. I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
I think you go crazy with it.
Because for me, it's like, he already has experience doing Marvel movies. So, and that was him doing it without like what we have now. So I mean, if you're saying, and this could go both ways, where it's like, hey, Sam Raimi, we're going to give you a shot to do this, which is probably a little more in your wheelhouse. And here's the guidelines that you got to stick through, so that way we have that that branding. I think it'd be like great. But then it kind of goes in the whole sense of like, it would be great to watch MCU allow more unique, I guess, movies and allow directors to do their own unique thing. But will it happen? The Scott Derrickson thing isn't like too promising.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
I don't know. I'm curious. I'm like I said, it'll be interesting to see. And not like I said, you were joking about him getting fired halfway through, and I can see that happening.
Yeah.
Because it's like, it's a lot of times these directors, if they don't have that full control, like a John Carpenter, who has to put his name on everything, he's got to have his hand in the script. He's got to,
Yeah.
who knows what his demands are. Is he at a point in his life where it's like, I'll take that Disney money and just, okay, what do you want me to do? All right.
Yeah.
Move over to the left some more. Sweet.
Did you ever watch, because it says like the last movie to feature the words directed by Sam Raimi was 2013's Oz the Great and Powerful.
Oh yeah.
I hated that.
Thanks, Ashley.
Sorry.
Couldn't even like
That's
through the
that's
teeth.
the James Franco one, right?
I hate
It's
James
the,
Franco.
It's the James Franco one.
Wait,
I do.
wait.
That's it.
Have we talked about this?
Jeff Lemire and James Franco.
Jeff Lemire. What?
No, she hates Jeff Lemire's artwork.
Jeff Lemire's
Okay.
watercolors and James Franco's
That's fair.
face.
Oh wait, we did talk about
Freaking-
your beef with man. There's a lot of salt today, man.
Lemire.
Yeah,
Oh, Jeff Lemire's watercolors and James Franco's face.
Imagine.
If I meet
too.
Jeff Lemire, I'm like, yo, what do you want? Can you draw James?
Damn it! You beat
I
me
want
to
you to
it.
draw James
Oh.
Franco.
Let's sign it out to Ashley.
That is a commitment.
Next to what's your favorite guy? Tom Hiddleston. Tom Hiddleston.
Have him do Loki. Draw Loki.
Yo, that's kind of got to be.
I'm gonna hit up his commission
That's
page.
got to be the commission piece we buy.
Jeff
Ashley,
Lemire Loki.
you already know your holiday gift in advance. Damn, a Jeff Lemire.
It's like a stick figure.
I kind of want to start asking artists to draw movie stars in like different costumes. Yeah, so I want you to draw James Franco as Wanda, Scarlet Witch, yo.
Yeah, give that to Chip Sardarsky. He'll probably do it.
Oh yeah.
Okay, well, I think that's all we can really cover as far as the
All right,
Sam
so
Raimi.
You don't like Sam Raimi either. So
I
we
feel.
got 3 no's and a 1 yes.
I'll just
All right,
say
cool.
Cinema Blend has a really good article. That's 7 reasons why Sam Raimi is a great choice for Doctor Strange and 2 reasons why he's not. I recommend checking that out. I mean, it's essentially what I was kind of regurgitating was he's got experience in horror and campy and big blockbuster movies. It would be a good fit. The only bad elements is if he doesn't get the ability to do his vision, which it's starting to look like probably not, but that might be a good thing, is to have give him direction. It's like, yo, you've got experience, but let's fine tune it into like our direction. We'll just have to wait and see.
Well, let's make him a real sorcerer now.
All right, and then we've our second to last topic, which is an interesting one. It's more so about like the comic industry as a whole. Ed, you recommended this one, and this one definitely caught my interest. I think you even made an Instagram post on our Shortbox account. Bad Idea.
Yeah.
What is this all about?
Which sounds like a good idea.
So it's this company it's starting, that's founded by several of the people involved in the Valiant relaunch a few years ago, and so they have this. They're having this philosophy where it's only going to be essentially very limited runs, and you can only get them in comic stores. And basically, I just kind of highlighted. They did a press release, and then but there's been no further information. But they're going to have their first comic is coming out in May, ENIAC. And so basically what they're saying they're going to do is there's going to be no more than 1 or 2 single issues a month, no variant covers. It's going to be a set price of $3.99 no matter what the format, no matter how many pages, extra, bonus. Like I said, it's not going to be offered digitally, which is pretty crazy. And they're not going to collect them into trades, hardcovers, or any other bookshelf
Which
formats.
is even more crazier to me.
Super crazy. So it's... And I think that first run is only going to be in, I think, like about 50 comic stores. And I guess they have to meet whatever kind of retail incentive that you have to do to get that. But yeah, it's funny that they, call it Bad Idea, because it's just going against every recommended way to distribute your product. So
And
it's just...
and thank you for that, Ed. I wanted to add like the talent they've got on their roster. I mean, a lot of it comes from Valiant itself, which
Jeff
makes sense.
Lemire, your favorite actor.
So they got
One of the
like
guys.
Jeff Lemire's on
He has
board.
to draw for every comic book, or write for every comic book publisher. It's like
Jeff Lemire's
right for
on
anybody.
board. I saw like Peter Milligan's name attached to it. Margaret Bennett, Matt Kent, Doug Brathwaite,
Yep.
and Zeb Wells. So like a lot of folks that are working with Valiant, as well as like some of the bigger publishers
But
too.
they never mentioned if it's like kind of like a branch of,
Yeah.
like like Marvel and Epic or something like that, where if it's part of this Valiant world, because how do they making money? That's what I want to know.
Yeah. And I had read something that was like they're only planning on distributing this to like 20 hand-picked comic shops.
That's it. At first, that's for that first.
Okay,
sure.
got it. And I guess I kind of see their point, or I'm sorry, I see their vision, because in some of the I guess things you highlighted is where it's like, I know that you can only buy these comics in the comic shop because they're not going to be offered anywhere else.
They're going to do like a strict one per customer.
Yeah, one per customer.
I don't know how you can enforce.
Exactly. And I think that's where the red flags raised for me. It was like, okay, so you're only going to pick 20 or 50 comic shops. What are going to be the requirements? And
what's the cap? What's the cap? What's the cap? Are you supposed to sell 1,000 issues? My thing is like,
I'm sure you'll have
how
to
limited is this run?
Yeah.
Because they're trying to get the whole nostalgia of like going to a comic shop, buying a book that will like have value, which I think is pretty cool. Like to like emphasize like, hey, we want to make comic books valuable again. And I think like all their books are supposed to be like prestige format and whatnot.
They want that kind of experience of going into a shop. They want to, rather than just reading it online or getting it elsewhere, they want you to.
Yeah.
That seemed like an important bullet point for them.
But I wonder, it's almost like a super what do you call those? Not novelty shops, but it's like a boutique. Like it's like a boutique approach where it's like very limited quantities equals a higher demand. I just don't know if there's enough. They're only coming out with this one book in May, and it's written by Matt Kent and art by Doug Brathwaite. I haven't seen anything other than like those initial images in that
like 2
in the article you sent. But I'm curious. But man, talk about hitting the name of the company like nail on the head. Like it just sounds everything sounds like that's. Interesting idea, but hella risky bad idea.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Ashley, what do you think about this?
I'm on board with everything except for the making it hard to get. Like I really like the idea of giving the artists and writers more time to work on things. I remember that was one of the things when I was talking to Seth Mann. He was talking about how Valiant gave Clay so much more time to work on Ninjak, the issues, than Marvel did, and how his work was so much better. So if they're kind of extending that to this and, not putting the artists under these crazy deadlines and giving them time to do better work, I think that's the best part about it.
I read somewhere where like all these talents that I named, that they've been working on stuff for a good bit now. Like they're just now putting out the word of this because they've had time to work. But I'm curious because Ashley, Ed, if you guys having like comic shop retail experience, like, is there anything that that would impact, like I guess, like from a real retailer perspective? Like, is there any red flags or things that we aren't considering as consumers?
The one per customer is just weird to me.
Yeah,
because then that immediately the resale on that's crazy because they're trying to like make it to where like you don't resell it, people are just gonna resell it.
Yeah, what's to keep the comic shop owner from just taking all of his issues and putting them on eBay?
Yeah, that. Yeah, or who's to say someone's just going to scan that shit and throw it online?
Well, I
we'll
guess
show you.
Well, I guess if I'm one of the very few that are able to nab a issue 1 or whatever, I don't know if I would, other than just to spite the company. I don't know if I would pirate. I don't know if I would scan it and pirate it because I know that I'm sitting on something that's probably got some substantial like value. Like if I know that you can't get this anywhere else, and they're not doing, which is kind of crazy.
Belongs in a museum.
Yeah, thank you, Nick Cage.
It's actually
I guess I'm trying to think about more so like because it says here, they're going to handpick 20 handpicked comic book shops, all of whom will qualify based on a unique system of criteria that includes extra promotional.
The thing too is like, is this going to be? It's almost open to like a bribery type of thing.
Yeah, the biggest shops are going to get it.
Yeah, it's like the big giant.
Yeah.
So it's
because I mean we hear all the time like all these retail shops talking about like, man, it's such a bitch to work with Diamond, it's such a bitch to like order stuff. Like now you're adding like, now I've got to try to like work with, who the hell are you guys? Like bad idea. Like one that doesn't like entice me to work with you guys.
Yeah, and it doesn't say what it takes to like set up an actual account with them either. So it said like it does like a really vague, like depending on various like incentives and whatever. It's like, do you have to bring the artists and put them up in a hotel and
Bro,
have
if
a
you want,
signing?
you should just do it in cons. Like, if you wanted to get even more fucking cool with it, instead of comic book shops, make it to where it's just very exclusive of this con. We make it right there for you.
Just draw it,
Made from scratch kitchen.
print it out.
I like it. But I will say, man, like, talk about like some ballsy ingenuity, like to look at like the industry and go complete opposite. I mean, at this point, it really is like, well, why not just give it a shot? Like, it's, you know, the comic industry and market is already kind of like weird and definitely a lot to be desired as is.
Yeah,
So
and this could be just a set experiment where there's only this is going to be okay. We're going to have like these 10 books or whatever, and then once it's done, it's like done.
the thing that like piqued me, I was like, man, not offered digitally. It won't be collected into the trades or hardcovers. It's like, man, talk about like some very limited means of production.
Yeah, because I'm
even
pretty
know what
much a
this is
trade
about.
waiter nowadays.
Yeah,
You know, so
yeah.
because I want to put it on the shelf where it's easy to access and get.
Yeah, like I said, it's enough to pique my interest, especially, and it's just cool to see this trend of like, because I mean, you know, we interviewed Z Chun last year with TKO Studios, and I thought what they were doing is awesome.
Yeah.
And now this comes out, and it's like even more different.
Extreme.
Yeah,
it's like an extreme version of TKO.
and it's kind of like, man, if you're not going to play by like the normal comic publisher rules, either you've got to do. It seems like you've got to do something vastly different. Like when TKO came out or last year or whatnot, I was like, man, they're really doing some like cool stuff. Like this doesn't feel like the traditional comic publisher route. Now you've got this. I wonder like how many more companies are going to spring up that are trying to like completely revamp the system.
Yeah.
Well said. Thank you, Ed. I'm not like really. Thank you for sharing. I'm going to try to reach out to them
Yeah,
and see
this
if we can
just
get
dropped
someone on.
like a couple days ago, so this is pretty new.
Yeah.
New press release.
Drew, you've got our last. You've got a topic you wanted to bring up before we go to Champion. This is not fake news. I won't lie. Anytime Drew's like, "Yo, I got a topic to share," I'm like, "Is this gonna be another incident?" Like,
I don't know if it's a topic or more or less just like an interesting character development.
Ooh, hit it live on
Just
the
right
streets.
now, okay, so like a couple
Andrew
days
Torres.
ago, Reddit was going crazy because over Wally West, and a lot of the images were coming out for the free comic book day that was supposed to be hitting, and it's called Generation Zero, which is going to be like part of the 5G, like what is it, G5, 5G?
5G.
What is it, 5G?
5G.
All right,
Yeah.
5G. But anyways, to get to the point, it's more or less about Wally West. So the whole image was basically Wally West in front. He has a blue hue. He has Dr. Manhattan's like symbol on his forehead. So everybody's kind of freaking out. So upon research and development in CBR, comic book resources, I looked up because I wanted to see what all the buzz is about. But so apparently Wally West right now he's going to inherit Dr. Manhattan's powers because after Doomsday Clock and a lot of stuff that's wrapping up for DC, like a lot of stuff right now DC's wrapping up to get geared up for this stuff that's going on. And the most interesting fact is about like Wally West is like a lot more important, and they're like basically establishing him like deep rooted into the DC universe. Like this is like, it's interesting to me because this is a character that at some point was like non-existent. And now, like, they're bringing him back, and they're like, all right, motherfuckers, you want this Wally West? Here. Like, take this.
He's God now. Happy? Happy? There.
Basically, like,
He's
there
a
you
big
go.
blue guy.
Yeah.
So to
No
add-
pants on.
because
I love it.
because Drew was telling
Running
me
around, fucking the universe with his big...
to add to Drew's point, because he had shared the article with me. So yeah, like this free comic book day book that DC's putting out May 2nd, Generation Zero, and it's written by like Scott Lobdell and
Scott Lobdell, and then in the
Art by Brett Booth.
And it's
Yeah.
interesting for a lot of different factors.
Yeah.
As a Wally West fan and a DC fan, it's just like, oh, it's already got me paying attention because I'm like, damn, they're really like doing
it's got
a
Drew
lot more.
paying attention, and it's got Alan Moore fucking fuming like somewhere, right?
Ah, dang.
It's so to Drew's point, they're infusing like Wally West with Dr. Manhattan's power. We don't really know how or what that means. It definitely, with it being DC, they're gonna just mess up the timeline, make it a lot more convoluted.
Well, it's like starting to make sense, like why Wally West is doing the stuff that he's doing.
yeah, because
like-
Drew, yeah, good.
He's no longer like the superhero that we love anymore. Like he's gotten pushed to a point where like nobody's really listening to him or like really helping him. But he's like, yo, I got to do this myself.
And all of this like kind of comes from like Tom King's
Heroes in Crisis
storyline, and then now there's this current run called Flash Forward, where it's a 6-part series, right?
Yeah, 6-part series that deals with the dark multiverse.
Yeah, so it's like Flash kind of being a time cop, like fixing, I guess, doing that whole multiverse thing, and then from there, something happens where he inherits Dr. Manhattan's power, and then that's when we get Generation Zero.
Yes.
And I guess Drew, I wanted to ask, because you got me into Flash, and I know Wally West is your boy. How do you feel about this trajectory they're taking Wally West? I mean, to Ed, even though it was a really good joke, like it does seem like they're making him very omnipotent, a lot more integral to like DC's continuity, and for sure it'll tie in with like this whole 5G thing that they got planned.
Yeah.
Like, how do you feel about them doing this to your boy?
Now talking to you, I feel like what it was like to be a fan and watch your Green Lantern turn into Parallax.
Oh,
That's what I'm feeling right now. Like, it's like, yo, this is a character that I've known for a really, really long time, and they're pushing him to a point where I'm like, yo, he's kind of like, he's like his own version of Parallax. Did that answer your question?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, do you like it or not? Or?
Well, I really don't know. I can't make heads or tails of it in the sense of like, I like it because I totally understand where he's coming from, if that makes sense, because of all the stuff that's going on with him. And you're like, damn. Like,
when you say all the stuff going on with him, what's the background?
Okay, so in the sense of like Wally West remembers his family. Like he literally remembers everything. He knows that there's a world that exists outside of it, and he's the only one that's left. Everybody has since moved on. His kids and his wife does not exist.
And all of this is like from DC Rebirth #1.
Yeah,
like all them years ago.
And the only thing he has to go on is he knows is because Barry fucked it up. When Barry went back into time,
Good old Barry.
and did Flashpoint, that's when he basically like fucked
Screwed
it
up
all.
the timeline,
Yeah,
yeah.
he
Who knows
fucked up
someone's mom
everybody.
dying really causes a
because of the whole riff.
just one mom dying
Yeah, so
and staying alive.
Wally's racing around town, like he's racing around, and he did something, and he's trying to fix it. So he's like, "Yo, it worked for Barry. Let me try."
Yeah.
That's what he has it going on.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
yo, it's so funny.
I love comic book plots.
That's why it's so
reasoning.
crazy. So yo, he fucking does it, and he ends up going to jail. Like the Justice League takes him in.
Yeah.
So it's like, yo, like, are you kidding me? Like Barry, like this is all fucking Barry's fault.
Yeah.
Like,
What about that guy?
I'd say white privilege, but they're both like, Caucasian males, so I can't really
but it's
use
like
that.
this is how they treat redheads over in fucking
Oh, well
DC.
said.
Like,
Wally
nobody's
West is a
having
red,
it.
yeah.
Yo, it's fucking ginger.
So they kind of, I mean,
They're pushing him. Like
Yeah.
it's one of the like I totally get where he's coming from. Where it's like
Hero
yo,
on the
he just
verge,
wants
yeah.
his family. That's all he wants. He wants his son and he wants his daughter.
do you
And
get
it's not-
tired of this whole like?
Fuck no! Like no,
well,
that's
it sounds like a recycled like Barry Allen. Well, I guess it's like a new perspective. Like, well,
it's a new perspective
like,
where I think
yeah,
right
sure.
now DC's trying to lend itself. They're trying to do a good job of connecting things, but you know why? You know why it's not magical? It's because we know where they come from. They're just basically trying to link things. So to us, we're like, oh, that's cool, but it's not magical.
What do you mean?
Like I don't know, like when we were, I feel like when I was younger reading comic books, and as this shit was happening, it felt more magical.
Oh, this got real existential.
I'm just saying, like, here's
Nah.
the thing, like we've been in it for a while, like we've been with all these events as they're coming out. When shit was going on, comic book wise, like while it was happening, there was no like we didn't know what was going to happen in the future.
Yeah.
Now looking back, like yo, they don't fucking know what they're doing. Like it like the last 10 years for DC has been really muddled, and now it's like basically they have like a big ball of yarn, and now they're able to like, all right, well, let's undo this a little bit right here and see where this point and this point goes. So I appreciate what they're doing in the sense of with writing and stuff, but at the same time, it's like there's a lot going on.
Do you? I guess let me ask the group this: what do you guys think about like them, kind of like?
Soft restart.
Well, I mean, and this is my term I'm using, like perversing like the Watchmen lore to like further their own like line of comic books, you know? Like like there was a point, and I'm sure all you guys remember this, where like the Watchmen stuff was like sacred, like that was held in like
own thing.
Yeah. Now,
Yeah.
like, how do you guys feel about like all of the like them incorporating so much of it, really kind of like raping the source material as much as they can, or milking. That's
Yeah.
probably what I should have used. I mean, I went a little extreme. I apologize.
Milking.
But I mean, how do you guys feel about this marriage between like DC's main line of comic books and heroes with like the Watchmen stuff?
I So I'm not saying I didn't enjoy Doomsday Clock or like some of the before Watchmen stuff, but I feel like I'm with Alan Moore on this one. Where like you should have just left it. Like it was such a classic. It won so many awards. It did so much for just like comics and graphic
special.
novels.
Yeah.
It was special. Like you should have just left it.
Yeah, the before Watchmen stuff I didn't mind because they had really top-notch people
Like
on
the
those.
Darwin Cook. Yeah.
Oh, that was so good.
And that was the only.
But it was still in that Watchmen universe.
Yeah.
But still, it was still. I remember that. But at the same time, like I remember there were a lot of people that were divided when that came out. But then it felt like we got all these top writers and stuff like that, and none of them delivered. Like the only one that was worth a damn that I thought that was good was the Darwin Cook one.
But I also feel like everyone's expectations of Watchmen is also really like it's impossible to meet that because it was such a perfect like start to finish story.
Why? Because it was what? But why?
Because it's the fucking Watchmen.
Okay,
like,
but here's the
it's
thing.
amazing.
But why?
I
But
don't
the reason
know
why
what
is
to-
because like there was nothing else. You didn't need anything else. You just got this perfect story as is, and they're like, "Oh, but let's go back here and just like no. That was already like that was perfect. You like don't touch it. Like leave it alone."
yeah.
That's why they haven't remade Jaws yet.
But I will but I will say
That's why I said
but I
yet.
will say I do remember when before Watchmen came out I was like oh wow but it felt like DC was handling it with like white gloves like hey I know what we're doing
it
is
was like an
blasphemous
anniversary year.
yeah, exactly. It was like anniversary. We're getting our bet. We're not giving this to like Botter and accounting.
Rob Liefeld,
Yeah.
put to justice.
It's like the best of the best. But now I'm like, good
Pocket
God.
justice.
It's like guys, I don't need this constant like big thing happening or like using the Watchmen as like shock value or like a means of like pushing the next big thing. It's like, yo, just focus on the good stuff. I don't need these big like,
and they have so many characters to make into stars. And like I won't lie, when like that first panel with like Batman pulling out the button, it's like, oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
But after this, like, what the fuck is going on now?
like yo, y'all can
Like Doomsday Clock has been out for the last 25 years. Finally wrapped up.
I do want to read Doomsday Clock just because I'm
Like, that's the only thing I do want to read because they basically do a good job with Superman. I feel like Doomsday Clock was very much like a good but it doesn't. That's the thing.
I thought that was gonna stop. I was like, okay, we'll just get Doomsday Clock, and that'll be that.
Watchmen's
and
good
then,
by itself. You don't need to add any type
Yeah.
of book end to it. Like Watchmen should be just by itself in the bookshelf. That's it. You don't need to.
Yeah.
And it says before Watchmen, and that's like fucking 10, 13 books. And then you got Doomsday Clock, which is another whatever the fuck.
I guess when I saw the cover for this, whatever this Flash thing, I was like, what are y'all doing?
Yeah.
So
It's
It looked pretty
All right.
though because it was Francis Manipal. So I was like,
say, they got a
so
good ass
pretty.
artist.
so just in theory, when he and this is all conjecture, but in theory, when he becomes Dr. Manhattan or inherit his powers, does he inherit that where he gets that just disconnect with humanity?
So
or
there's-
does he keep that emotion that why we love Wally West?
So I'm not
You know
sure
what I'm
about
saying?
that yet, but I do know in the solicitations that it said something about along the lines of like
The chair as well, right? Metro.
yeah, it's like tied in, but they're saying
Oh,
like
God.
Wally West is now able to sort of like Dr. Manhattan be present in like the past, present, and future all at once. So that's kind of his power set.
Sorry, to add to what you're saying, what's exciting about this is because they've always made the Flash very, very important and has always been like, yo, you are the center of everything. So like that's what I think is really dope. Like what Superman inspires, but Flash is like that, like the heart and the beat of everything. And even so far what they're doing with the Flash TV series and stuff, like his character is very important in what they do.
So this is a little sidebar. Has anyone watched the Crisis on Infinite Earth TV series yet?
No.
No, I've
I'm,
not.
I'm
It's
so
on,
mad.
I know, it's on my
we
list.
talk about it all the time. We have to.
I know.
But we
I
have to
know.
find a month off to
Yeah, so much. It's too
All right.
much.
Well, I think that's enough salt for this segment. Let's take a break. Eat some chocolate chip cookies. Now that because I want one. Let's go. We'll play some music. We'll go on break. We'll come back. We got one email to read, and we'll do champion season. Stay tuned.
be a villain in the DC universe, you just have to dress flashy.
Yeah.
Like you just like if you go to
He does some nice
Forever
outfits.
21 and then like you just go immediately like if you look like you're about to
All
start
right.
a fight club, like you're a DC villain.
Damn it!
No,
you
he's-
kind of beat me to it.
Like Will Smith, like you just like wear some
Red
Balenciagos, red turtleneck. I got gold,
Balenciaga.
I got some gold plating every here and there. Boom,
Oh, you look sharp.
Joker's like, I like to have me a little bit of boxing shorts. I want to wear like this crazy jacket. Like you go to the thrift store, like I feel like the DC universe is just basically all the villains' costumes are at like a thrift store, and there's one guy that's
Thrift
just
store
like,
and Hot Topic.
Yeah, that's basically what it is.
welcome back, Shortbox Nation.
Where are the cookies?
We ate them all. All right.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Children of the mind.
Real quick. So before we go on, before we read our email and do champion season, I did want to take a couple minutes to talk about the Birds of Prey movie. 3 of us at this table have seen it. Ashley has not yet. So what we'll do is keep it spoiler free as possible. But I did want to take time to talk about it. Man, there's nothing to do in Jacksonville.
Yeah.
Did somebody say there's nothing to Duval in Jacksonville?
Danny Duval, what are you doing here?
Your ignorance summoned me. Now shut up and listen to these words. North Florida's premier anime, comic book, sci-fi, and pop culture event, Collective Con, returns for its 6th year. On March 20th through the 22nd, stars from The Mandalorian, Game of Thrones, Supernatural, The Crow, Dragon Ball Z, and even famous Pokemon card illustrator Mitsuhiro Arita is flying in from Japan to join in on the fun.
Wow! That sounds awesome!
Why are you still standing here? Go buy your tickets today at collectivecon.com, you lovable Nimrods!
If you have not seen the movie and you absolutely don't want to hear anything about it, go ahead and skip about 10-15 minutes. And then you'll find us at email. But I do want to take a quick couple minutes to talk about a spoiler-free Birds of Prey review. So that begins now. Myself and Drew seen it Friday night, and then Ed, you've seen it yesterday?
Yep.
All right, word. And Ashley, you're seeing it Tuesday?
Yep.
Are you excited to see it?
I'm so excited to see it. It looks like so much fun.
All right, well, we're going to shit on it. I'm kidding. Drew and Ed, how did you guys like it overall?
Did I see this movie? Yes. Did I fall asleep at this movie?
Yes, you did.
Yes.
I'm like, he's not going to be able to give a honest review. This dude's sleeping like 20% of the movie.
Yeah, I fell
man.
asleep for 20% of the movie because at some point it was so boring to me that I fell asleep. And I was like, and then I woke up, and I woke up for the good parts. I was like, all right, cool.
Yeah, you had a weird, uncanny,
Like, I was
you have a useless mutant ability of
Yo,
waking up during the good parts.
No, I wake up during
'Cause it gets
the good part.
loud.
Yeah, because pow pow. What's going on?
This will unlock the door. So you didn't like anything at all. Like you have nothing good to say.
I liked Hugh McGregor. Like, I actually wrote some stuff down.
Okay.
Ooh, what's his name? Birds of Prey, Suicide Squad, Sad Face.
Okay.
I need to Renee Montoya,
AKA Rosie
Womp
Perez.
Womp.
Okay.
Victor Zayas, Womp Womp.
Yeah, he was disappointed.
Black Canary, Womp Womp. Harley Quinn, interesting.
Ashley, real quick, I can mute your headphones, so if you don't want to hear none of this, like
Black Mask, super. Like he
Yeah,
was
Ewan
definitely
McGregor.
interesting. Yeah, Ewan McGregor was just like anytime Ewan McGregor showed up, I was like, oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
And then Margot Robbie, I'm just coming off of watching Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and I'm like, damn, Margot Robbie can act. This was good. I have to read a Harley Quinn comic book to get some context and be like, all right, was this done very,
Accurate,
very
yeah.
well? Was this accurate to how crazy things are? And the only other thing I'm going to tell you is just like, since we've watched the movie, Butter has been nonstop talking about sandwiches.
egg sandwiches.
egg sandwich does look
sandwiches.
good.
See, I'm saying right now.
Great.
I don't like it. Like the next day, I went and got me an egg sandwich. That's
Yeah.
all I'm gonna say.
Okay, so it sounds like you completely have nothing good to say other than Ewan McGregor.
This movie was a
and
complete
Margot
waste
Robbie.
of my time. It was a
Wow.
complete waste of Margot Robbie's time. It's gonna be a complete waste of your time.
Wow. Wow.
I don't know. Ashley like tends to like find the good in like stuff.
I
She's
do,
not.
I
She's not
do.
pessimic. Like,
And I'm seeing it discount Tuesdays, so
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
and
so
here's
it's not a
the-
complete
here's
waste.
the first 5 minutes of it went because they do animation.
Yeah, that's fun.
Yeah, the animation was like,
Yeah.
I was like, yo, this is so fucking good.
Okay, Ed, how about you give us a more articulate?
Yeah, a little bit more like words and sounds instead of grumbles.
There,
A lot less salt. Give us
Well,
your
less salt.
salt-free.
Yeah, the sodium-free
I
one.
wasn't quite as salty, but I enjoyed the movie watching it. Just sitting there because I saw it like early during the day. I don't know when you saw it, if it was like
Way
after a
too
shift, after a double, or
Yeah, you
just,
did. You did kind of come off work. Yeah.
I came right off of work.
Okay. But, I thought as far as the movies, the pacing goes, I thought it moved really well. I thought it was just on the go all the time. Ewan McGregor is pretty awesome. Like we were just talking off mic, and I was saying he just chewed up all the scenery whenever he was on screen, but in a good way. I mean, he was just an over-the-top comic book villain that you want to see.
Yeah.
But his performance and some of his dialogue made me think just during the movie, because I usually just go in, I knew this was going to be a popcorn, movie. I wasn't expecting anything too deep or meaningful. But I was thinking most of the time after his character gets introduced that this was supposed to be Joker. This is supposed to be Joker.
I felt the same way.
Because they tell that breakup story. You don't see anything of the Joker, not even a silhouette, not even him like at the end where you can see like the silhouette, like Dr. Claw style, him just watching everything going on. She just says like, we broke up and everybody knows that they broke up somehow, which was weird. And her blowing up the factory was like, oh, that means they broke up. I was like, how the fuck did you come to this conclusion? So there's like story plots, there are story points like that, which are very unexplainable, but it just kind of but it moves. So like that happens, it just moves to the scene, to scene, to scene. The rest of the cast, the Cassandra Cain character was like really redone from the comic. It's nothing
nothing whatsoever. And then you got like a 50-year-old Renee Montoya. Who looks like she should be home.
Yeah.
Like, shit, what you doing? Like, it's fucking Friday night. Like,
so it's cool that they put Montoya in. Because
the poorest.
Yeah.
Character,
like Rosie Perez, like 20 years ago. Rosie Perez.
Would have been awesome.
But it's cool seeing.
Or like Rosa Perez. Like, like she went from Rosie to Rosa. She's so old.
Hey, look, there would be no trash talking Rosie Perez. All right, let's just Rosie Perez all
like
day.
Harley Quinn and Montoya are two cartoon characters that kind of made their way into the comic. So that's kind of cool seeing that. It's like those are the two Batman animated series characters that kind of became comic book characters. The rest of the cast, I did like Huntress's character, how she gave me that kind of like homeschooled awkward vibes because she was like sent away to Italy to become an assassin, like with nobody. Like in the comics, she was sent to like, boarding schools or whatever. So she actually had interaction with people. But in this, it made it seem like she got sent into Italy, like in the middle of nowhere, to be basically just trained to be an assassin with no other kids around. So she's very awkward. And I thought that was kind of fun. The set pieces I thought were really, really cool looking. And it looked like it was like watching like a music video with like some Deadpool fourth wall elements to it. Some like hyper violence. It wasn't as disjointed to me as like Suicide Squad was, but and I'm using DC standards here, so it's a different set of standards. I thought this was a strong movie. Some people were saying it's like their best movie.
Yo, I've heard a lot of that.
Is not true. But as far as just me going in, fun movie, it's kind of like it's like a 6 or a 7, or 6.5, whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's a lot of elements I like. I really like the fight scene, the ending fight scenes in the funhouse, and the fight scene with her with the bat in the like the evidence room. I thought that was like really just fun to watch. Fun to watch stuff. But to me, the whole time, what was kind of just nagging at me was like, I'm wondering if this was supposed to be the Joker, because it makes more sense story wise too. And they just kind of made this diamond a key to whatever this fortune is. Or
talk about a MacGuffin.
It's like,
like the most generic.
And it didn't mean anything at the end.
Yeah,
it's like.
Yeah.
So it's.
So you loved it.
I didn't love it. So I didn't hate it, but I didn't love it. So it's kind of like in the thumbs in the middle for me. But I thought just visually, it's very interesting because I think it's like a popcorn music video where it's all or like a comic book with a really good artist and not a good writer. Where you get it to where it's like, oh man, this is really pretty, but you don't really care about the story because you're looking at the pretty pictures.
So I'll add my input, and then we'll keep it moving. Ed, I think you nailed a lot of points that I had. The support for this movie and the reception, man, it really is like way more positive than I thought. Especially given that it's a DC film, and sometimes I do admit,
and it's surprising because they had that embargo on the reviews where you weren't allowed to. No one was allowed to post reviews until opening weekend.
Really, I didn't know.
And usually when movies
do that,
it's like usually
it's not a good
dog
thing.
shit.
Yeah, I'm seeing like a lot of folks say, "Hey, this is my favorite DCEU film," like out there. I think if I would have went in it with my expectations of it being, "Hey, this is going to be a popcorn girl power film," then they would have like hit the nail on the head. I think I was going in expecting to be won over. Because I always hear the Birds of Prey comic series, and Drew, do you remember like who's the writer and artist for that thing?
Chuck Dixon. Chuck Dixon was the primary writer for it, and then at some point, Gail Simone.
She kind of cemented the.
Yeah, she cemented.
Yeah. Who was the art? Was it Ed Benz? Ed Benz is so good. But I was expecting,
and Greg Land, a very young Greg Land.
I was expecting to be one. Thank you. I was expecting to be
pre-tracing porn.
Yes. See, I was expecting like that because I always hear people talk about like DC fans like have like a plethora of like story arcs that they really cherish, and DC's like got a bunch of great examples of like, hey, this is a series that ran for 40-50 issues and just maintained its quality. And Birds of Prey is in that category. I feel like when people talk about Birds of Prey and like Gail Simone and all that, they talk about it highly. So I think I was expecting like, okay, well, I've never read it. Maybe this movie will get me into, will win me over to check that out. And I saw a post that Matt Stinson made. Shout out to Matt. It was just like a quick one line. He said something along the lines of, I feel like it was a lot of these characters were a waste of character. And I feel that way because it feels like they went to each character like, okay, what is the primary element of this character? Let's just run with that. We don't really care about the backstory, etc. So it was like Cassandra Cain, okay, orphan pickpocketer, but forgot about the rest of it, right? So we'll just incorporate that. Huntress, badass, crossbow, incorporate that.
Or like the mob, daughter of the mob,
like very high level. Like, okay, let's just use this as a framework for the character. Let's not really deliver. So I think my expectations weren't realistic, especially when I saw the character. I was like, yo, this looks nothing or reminds me nothing of the comic books or whatever. That's on me,
You just
though.
have the name.
Yeah, you just got the name. You don't got the soul.
Name.
Yeah, you don't get like the nuance of the actual characters, and to be fair, it's not. And the naming of it is really confusing because I don't know why they did just call this Harlequin.
That is first of all, they changed the name of this. It's like. What is it?
Birds of Prey, and then the emancipation
of one
fabulous
Harley Quinn. Yeah,
way too long.
But the good elements going for it. I thought the choreography, Margot Robbie's choreography, like fight scenes, were fucking badass. Like I've always said that I feel like Scarlett Johansson has some of the best fight scenes in any of these MCU films. Margot Robbie like is holding it down for like DC. Like her fight scenes are great.
The transitions were very, very well done.
Yeah,
I like the part too where she's like in the fun house, and then all of a sudden she's on skates, and then they address it.
Yeah,
it's like when did she have time to do his shoe chain? like rolling
and
skates.
like it's so self-aware at times that like it's like they make fun of all the tropes, like all these classic movie tropes, and like. It doesn't take itself seriously, so I think as long as you don't take it seriously,
that's the thing too. Just because of it was very like tongue in cheek. It was definitely not a serious movie.
It's almost like DC was like, look, going dark and gritty,
fun.
Dark and gritty hasn't worked. Let's just go completely balls to the wall, silly.
The one thing too, like, at the end, I wish they, like, when they kind of do the Birds of Prey, where she's like, oh, these nerds are doing this, it's like I'm doing my thing, but these nerds are doing their own group. Birds of Prey. I wish they would have did a question, like, tease.
Oh yeah.
Even just like a
Renee Montoya puts on a mask or something,
just like a blank mask with the tie and the hat, because everyone else was kind of in a costume except for her. Or some sort of costume. So that's the only thing. Like
they could have just, like, I think to Ed's point, just ditched the whole Birds of Prey. Just called it a Harley Quinn movie that happened to feature like these characters you might know. I also at certain points in the movie I would lean over to Drew and tell him like, yo, I feel like I'm watching a live action DC version of Into the Spider-Verse, because they incorporated like all these like graphics and like kind of comic book elements, but it happened to be like a live action movie, which made for like pretty interesting like visuals. But as far as like just the story, and and the chemistry was what also was my big thing. I didn't feel the chemistry between any of the characters. It just was like really kind of goofy, and the comedy was enough to carry it through. But as far as like it being a superhero movie or having like some real heart, kind of like.
And it's one of those things too. I don't know without Roby in it, and like I don't know if those other characters.
She carried.
I don't know if those other characters can like. I don't know if they're going to do this or not, but I don't know if those other characters can be like, okay, now we're going to do this Birds of Prey movie.
No,
it's like,
never.
No.
I didn't
not
feel.
watch that.
I didn't feel like any type of like unity to it.
Yeah, and I just wish there was. And I know it's a casting thing, I'm sure, but even just like everybody knows who the Joker is. Everybody knows that they were an item and broke up, and that's a big part of this story. That's why I was thinking this was originally supposed to be Joker instead of Black Mask, and just like zero even imagery or shadows of him or like anything.
Wow,
like I don't know if I said this off mic or not, but even like a Dr. Claw over the shoulder watching the news or something with talking about Harley Quinn.
Yeah.
It's like no reference at all, which is bizarre because he's basically sets this story in motion off camera completely.
I was telling Drew, this movie definitely makes me want to check out the Harley Quinn animated show that's on DC.
It's my champion.
Oh, word. Okay.
Yeah.
Because I know, like, I think it was Lars, like, hit me up, like, hey, this is really good.
Really good.
So a part of me is like, well, I semi-enjoy this, so I wonder if I just watch
you'll love
the
that
animated. Okay, word.
Yeah.
So
Much better.
Ashley, I am going to be curious about your review of this. Hopefully this didn't, like, completely take you out of it. So whenever you get a chance to watch it, and next time we record.
All those aside, it's just, it's still, if you go in there, I'm going to see a bunch of action and cool chicks punching dudes in the face. Yeah, you're going to like this movie. For sure. It's a fun movie.
So we'll move on. We got one email to read. It's from Matt Vigo. Shout out to Matt. It's titled Commentary. He writes, "Good afternoon. I just listened to your movie commentary episode with Ghost Rider, and I got to say, wow. Fun stuff.
Hey.
Have you all considered seeing if Sunray would let you host something like this and you all do another live episode in this fashion? Especially if the idea of doing it for bad superhero flicks. As always, keep doing what you do."
Nice.
Yes, I would definitely like to do like a live commentary episode at Sunray. And the more terrible the movie, the better. I think, what were some of the titles that we mentioned that we're going to...
Spider-Man 2.
you. No.
Spider-Man 3.
No.
Darkman.
You just named all these Sam Raimi movies.
Evil Dead.
Yeah. Anyway, I think we mentioned Catwoman.
Venom was my vote.
Venom.
What? Venom was good.
Fantastic Four.
You didn't want tater tots? Oh, which one?
No, you know which Fantastic Four.
Fantastic Four.
I was thinking the Corman one from like the 80s, and then
Oh
the
my
T.
God!
Shrink.
There's 3 of them.
Yeah.
There's Fantastic Four.
I joke.
There's 4 Fantastic
I think
Four
all the
movies.
Fantastic Four movies are worthy.
Wait. So
fair.
I think it was Catwoman, Venom. We said honestly any FF movie. Drew, what's like a really bad shit?
Ooh, Hellboy.
Oh my God,
The new one with David Harbour.
I feel like we already did a whole episode. trashing that.
Disappointment.
We could probably do Elektra if we want.
Daredevil
God,
and Elektra.
Daredevil.
Yeah.
With Matt.
So Matt Vigo, to answer your question, we've got more ideas for commentary episodes. I think the next one that we do, we're gonna let our patrons decide what movie that we're gonna do. As far as Sunray, I definitely want to do something at Sunray. I just got to find a good time to do. We might do something for like the 300th episode at Sunray. So keep an eye on that. So that's the only email that we had. I do want to go and say for anyone listening, if you want to send us an email with your thoughts on, if you want to champion something, write us in, or even like share your thoughts on any of the topics we discussed, whether it be the Disney Plus stuff, the Sam Raimi on Doctor Strange, or even your thoughts on the Harley Quinn movie. Feel free to shoot us an email at theshortboxjacks@gmail.com or leave a short voicemail at 904-580-4095. We'd love to hear from you guys. That being said, let's jump into the last segment of our show, Champion Season. Champion Season, for those of you tuning in for the first time, is our segment of the show where we get a chance to go around the table and everyone shares 1 or 2 items from pop culture, comic books, movies, a book, etc. that they want to champion and say, hey, this is really dope and you should be checking it out. Ashley, how about we kick it off with you? What do you want to champion today?
So I've got 2 things. First one is Sex Criminals is back. I don't know if anybody
You know, I've never read Sex Criminals.
ever.
No,
Like,
and
not even. the
even
first
though,
issue.
even though I
Look at that
never.
disgust on her face.
Sorry, I'm so sorry.
Disbelief.
Like even though I'd go into the comic shop and every single week someone brought, whether it was Amber, Jonathan, someone in the shop. I think Walt. Yes, I am aware. In 2 years, I'll
Email
be
them,
champion,
everybody.
right?
Tell them to read it.
Why should I guess sell me on it if you don't mind.
It's just it's funny. I don't know how else to describe it. Like I read this thing by myself and I laugh.
It's written by Matt Fraction.
Yeah, Matt Fraction, Chip Zdarsky does the
Oh
artwork.
wait, and you know what? To be honest, last year was the year that I really started falling in love with Chip Zdarsky's work. So I might. Okay, all right.
Yeah, no, it's so like I don't know how to describe it. I love these characters, and I know every time I read it, it's gonna make me laugh and it's gonna make me feel good.
Isn't the premise like superheroes who can stop time while having sex or something like
It's
that?
just two regular people.
Oh, okay,
and every
better.
time they do it, time stops for a little bit.
They
it's-
start becoming robbing people
Yeah.
and stuff.
So and they do these like XXX, like they call them NSFA, not safe for anywhere covers, and the one for the last issue was Jason Latour, so it made me miss Southern Bastards too. Just reminds me of back in the day where you could get like your Saga and your Southern Bastards and
Damn, Image
Sex
had it.
Criminals
Came out
was all
on a
coming out
regular
on a monthly
basis.
basis.
What
I'm
a
excited
time.
that's back. They're kind of ending it. They're winding it down, but at least they're giving it an ending.
So wait, how many issues is Sex Criminals up to now? Currently,
That's a good question. It's in the 30s or
30s, yeah.
40s. I think it's in the 30s.
so it's coming back for I guess one more
One more
year?
run.
Oh, one more run.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm not sure how long it's going to be. I don't know if they announced it, but they're winding the story down.
Okay.
But it's so good. You
All right.
got it, yeah.
I'll put that on my list.
And then the other one is so I haven't opened up my DC Universe app since Swamp Thing ended. So this morning I went on and I started watching the Harley Quinn animated series.
So good.
And I think Venture Brothers is my favorite animated show.
God, it's so good.
I love that show, and this reminded me of Venture Brothers.
Dang, like that?
It was so good. I can't. I'm gonna go home and watch more of it. I can't
Yeah.
wait.
Did you
Damn,
watch
Harley
it? Are you
Quinn's
caught
like
up?
that? How many
many-
issues? How many episodes?
I've only
like
seen
10
the
or
first
11.
two.
Oh, there's like 10 or 11 out now.
Yeah, I'm excited. I
Yeah.
just opened it this morning. I was like, oh,
It
We'll
is-
see how this is, and it was amazing.
The issue with
funny.
the DC Universe app for me is I keep forgetting I have it.
Yeah, me too.
I'm like, oh shit, I have that. Okay, and I got to check out. Yeah, I got to just check that out. Like I said, this movie. See, I got to update it and all that stuff. Okay, those are pretty good champions, Ashley. Thank you. Was there anything else you want to pass it to Drew?
That's it.
All right, Drew, what do you got in champion?
I'm just gonna champion this Hawkeye book I got.
I wish you would have said Sam Raimi isn't so bad.
I'm just error in my ways.
Just kidding.
No, just that way I can give everybody their props. Hawkeye Private Eye, which collects issues 1 through 12, is written by Kelly Thompson, done by artists Leonardo Romeo, also Michael Walsh. The color artist is Jordi Belair, and the cover art is one Julian Tonino Tedesco.
Yeah.
I don't you've probably seen his covers
Oh, yeah.
everywhere. This guy. This book was so freaking amazing. It, coming off the Matt Fraction run, I can definitely give this to anybody. I would champion because we follow Kate Bishop, and this was done in such a way of character development that I am. This makes me want to read three other books. I want to go and read Kelly Thompson's West Coast Avengers. I'm definitely one of those on the look for new writers, and this book right here was good. I don't want to give too many spoilers, but it deals with Kate Bishop on the West Coast, and she basically starts her own investigation, so it kind of has that Jessica Jones vibe where it's Alias.
Okay.
And she's just she's in town and tries to establish herself, and then there's a bunch of stuff going on. So she fights her version of there's little superpowered people, and they're kind of reminiscent of they have a Captain America type character. There's a Hulk like type character, and it does really good because it lends itself to pulling in the DC universe. If I had to pick a TV show to be based off, this is definitely what I would like to see the Hawkeye TV show for Kate Bishop.
Okay, cool.
And I told you, I like this book so much that I went and looked up Kate Bishop statues and figures and posters because I was damn, Kate Bishop's actually really dope. For one of the things that I'm trying to branch off is just read more characters. I always deal with the same. There's Captain America or there's Thor, but I just kind of want to take a look at everything else that's coming on, and then Young Avengers comes because we talked about Empire, Fantastic Four, and all that stuff coming up. But I want to see what characters they're going to take right now and make them the new Marvel. And I think Kate Bishop at one point can be she's Avengers type material. Like at some point, if Marvel does a really good job of like making this character grow, I would not be surprised if her showing up and being like one of those like characters that's going to be like one of the heavy hitters that can like a legacy character that'll definitely take over the reins if they do a really good job. And Kelly Thompson does a really good job, like it as far as writing. Like I was like, man, this is really readable. It's really fun. I like it's funny when it needs to be funny. Like Ashley, you would like. There's like a Game of Thrones reference in here that's really good.
Oh, nice.
So a bunch of other stuff that's just really good, and it's drawn really well, and it kind of lends itself to that Matt Fraction, David Aja.
Well said.
Hawkeye.
All right, Ed. What about you, Indian Champion?
I'm going to second Harley Quinn because it is an absolute hilarious series. A lot of cursing.
Yeah.
An almost uncomfortable amount of cursing. But it's there's like it's super violent, like a lot of cursing, and it's basically very tongue in cheek. It makes fun of all the basically she's trying to join the Legion of Doom. So if you're a fan, there's all these references. They have that old school Legion of Doom headquarters. Lex Luthor's in charge of it. It's like all dudes, and she's like the first female member of the Legion of Doom. But it's like her and Clayface. Clayface is like this actor, like I am an actor, like really over the top. It's super fun. It's now the episodes are becoming like 2-part episodes, but I think it's a lot more accessible than even the solo series comic. Anybody can watch it. You don't even really have to know any of these characters' real background, but if you do know, it makes it even better. I think Aquaman makes a "your mama" joke, and a dolphin comes up and high fives him. I howled laughing at that because, like, I think King Shark's in it, and he kind of sounds like Eddie Murphy, like Donkey. They gave him that. All the voices are crazy in this, and again, it's the Harley Quinn is by the girl from Kaylee, the girl from Big Bang Theory, Penny.
Kelly Cuckoo, or
she's like Cuoco. She's like her voice, and she's like an executive producer of the show. So this is like her thing. But yeah, King Shark is like talking to Aquaman. He's like, "You're not my dad." And he's like, "It's not what your mother said." And then a dolphin comes up, and then this dolphin comes up. He's on this boat, and this dolphin comes up and high fives him. Oh man, I howled. It's so funny. So funny, but
that's really good.
It doesn't take itself seriously at all. It's like I said, it's very crass kind of humor. If you read the comic, the solo comic, there's Cy Borgman, the landlord, the cyborg landlord in the wheelchair. I don't know if anyone's read this comic.
No.
Okay, it's Jason Alexander from Seinfeld. George Costanza is doing the voice of him.
Yo, JB Smoove is on here too.
That might be King Shark.
Yo.
Yeah.
Okay, I
couldn't place the name. Yeah, I couldn't. It's like it sounds familiar, but that's the kind of the closest thing I could think of.
Yeah,
but he's hilarious. All the characters are really funny. I think there's like the mind. I forgot the mind guy's name. He's like a telepath. This little guy. He gets kicked out of the Legion of Doom for calling Wonder Woman a cunt on live TV, and like and like everybody, they're fighting, and everyone just stops and like, ooh, it's like what? It's like
damn.
All
right.
It is.
There's up to like 11 episodes.
Yeah, I highly recommend it. It is
20-minute episodes, or how long?
Yeah, they're like
episodes?
20. They're basically like 30 minutes. That's like 25 minute episodes.
Okay, cool.
So,
I'm definitely gonna.
yeah,
check that out for
they're
sure.
easy to, and they're really quick episodes. This is like joke, and Kite Man's in it. If anyone knows that guy,
yeah.
And they're like him and Poison Ivy. They're kind of together, but she's like really embarrassed by him because he's so lame. Kite Man. So yeah, it's super funny. I'd highly recommend it.
All right, dang, I got some homework to do. The only reason I haven't been able to enjoy some of this other stuff is because my time has been solely dedicated and ate up from this. I've been playing God of War, like God of War, the one that came out last year, and
You've not been playing God of War. You've been like emotionally.
I've been living.
Living God of War.
I love when I find like time to actually play a video game and I get immersed into it, and it's like the only thing I want to do. Like after work, I'm like, yo, I can't wait to go home and play fucking God of War. But this
He's
is
already bought plane tickets to like go.
Whoa.
Like, he wants to go see Mount Olympus.
Okay, I was like, yo, I'm gonna tie this in. That's it. Okay, but this God of War, I'm talking about the God of War game that came out in 2018 for the PS4 It is the 8th installment of God of War series, which I did not know they were up to 8 of them.
That's the one with the son, right?
Yes, with Atreus.
Like killing animals together.
Yeah, not necessarily, but yeah, pretty much. It's a sequel to 2010's God of War 3. So now I've got to kind of figure out my timeline. But it takes place. What makes this game so different is that instead of taking place or centered around Greek mythology, they switch it up and root it in Norse mythology. So the majority of the game is set in Midgard, and it follows the death of Kratos' second wife and Atreus' mother. So he's a father in
He's
this.
got bad luck with wives.
Yeah, they do. So it's like their whole journey is to fulfill her dying request, bury my ashes at the highest peak of the 9 realms. And of course, through their journey, they end up fighting, monsters, gods of the Norse world. So not only am I getting an awesome history lesson in Norse mythology, but the game is beautiful. There are these like cutscenes that are just like really heartfelt. Like they did a good job focusing on the story and character development. Like this is one of those games where you get excited for the cutscenes because you're like, man, there's going to be some emotional part or the story's going to be really captivating. And doing my research on some of this game, I guess it was like really important for the franchise because it revitalized the franchise. It won a ton of like Game of the Year awards. It's got like damn near perfect scores from a bunch of different publications. I think most notably like Metacritic. This was like the highest rated PS4 game, and it also tied for a perfect review score with the original God of War from 2005. So I mean, as far as like accolades, it's got it. I found out that there is this game also had a Dark Horse 5-issue miniseries put out, written by Chris Roberson. So I'm going to check that out. And there's a YouTube documentary called Raising Kratos. It's like 2 hours long, and it's about Santa Monica Studio, who produced the game. Their 5-year process in making this game.
That's sick.
So, I mean, just hearing that alone, it's like, man, you could definitely tell the amount of work. There are some scenes in this game where, like, I will just, like, kind of, like, I just won't do anything because I just want to look at the background. I want to take in like all the visual elements. I'm like taking photos so I can have like wallpaper backgrounds. It's a gorgeous game, and like it's one of those games like where you're starting to like near the end of it, and you're like starting to slow down. You're like, all right, what random dumb side mission can I do to
go help that lady I saw back.
Yeah, like back in level 1, right? So that is the game.
I saw you play this game. Like I watched you play this game in the.
Drew has literally like made popcorn to watch him play this game. It feels like a movie.
Because at some point he just knows. At some point, like it. I was like, yo, how do you know to do that? He's like, I don't know. I just know that I have to like take this because it's like puzzle solving. It will never like put you in the path. It's one of those games where you literally have to like find everything and do it. And this dude's just like, oh yeah, I got to basically like unchuck this part and then throw this and then blow it up in the air and then this will go. Like me, I would have been like, yeah, I would have been there like L1 pressing the button in, like give me a clue.
One of the last video games I really got like attached to was The Last of Us, which I recommend anyone play that fucking game. If you enjoyed that game, you will love this one. And at first I was like, they're going The Last of Us route, having a little kid with you. Like, all right, I see the emotional strings attached to it. Nah, I'm at work thinking about like Atreus, like, I wonder what he's doing right now. What's my son doing? So that's what my time has been like used up for, is like playing God of War. So I champion that if you're like me and you take 2-3 years to like play the latest game. So that's what I got to champion, and I think we're at a good stopping point for our show. Ashley, Ed, Drew, do you guys have anything you want to highlight or shout out or plug? You guys doing any conventions? Got anything going on people should be aware of?
Sam Raimi's probably not that bad. Like for the director,
he just had to let it out. He just had to vent.
Upon really
it's like clarity,
it,
You have your Instagram page back up.
Yeah. So now my dog has an Instagram, and now I have an Instagram.
Yeah.
that I got to work on.
Are you taking? Are any of you guys taking commissions? If people wanted to get like artwork done by you guys?
Yeah, I mean,
Slide into my DMs.
Yeah, give me your
how
money.
much
Ed
you
bought
gonna pay
5,000.
me?
Cash up front though.
Yeah, I'm
play
excited
around.
for Collective Con too.
Yeah, March 20th
20th
through 22nd. That is right. We'll be
Are you
doing
setting
some
up there? Or?
No,
You're
I'm
just
just
going-
gonna
okay.
hang out with the Game of Thrones people.
Yo, who
With the
are
Game
you
of
looking
Thrones
forward to?
I don't even remember who's there.
I think Pip will be there.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, little jerk.
We'll actually be doing ticket giveaways. So
Oh, nice.
here in I think next episode we'll start announcing what our ticket giveaway is going to be. So stay tuned for that. I'll go ahead and say if you enjoyed this episode and you want more Shortbox content, man, we have got a ton of bonus episodes, unreleased interviews, as well as opportunity to get some exclusive merch. handmade by us. Just go to patreon.com/theshortbox. We've got different levels, different tiers that you could sign up for. Your contributions are important. They help keep the lights on and help us produce these awesome shows that you love and enjoy. So consider checking out our Patreon page, becoming a Shortbox patron, and enjoying those bonus things and helping us out. With that being said, we're going to wrap up. Thank you guys so much for tuning in and listening and rocking with us. We'll catch you next week. Peace.
Peace.